You know what I often think about for no reason at all?
What's
Where
that?
in the world did Thanos come from? We're just riding along, vibing, Avengers, Thor doing his thing, Loki's doing some chaos, Iron Man's all shiny, and then boom, big purple angry dude. Who asked for that?
No, that's a great question because out of all of the villains, he is the one that I'm just like, and who designed him? Who
Just
did
for
it?
me, it's literally why though. Like we were doing fine.
Yeah.
It's for me, it's a literal, it would be a shame if like that's where he comes from. How can we ruin this great moment?
Insert
Nailed
calamity
it
here.
too. Like and just ruined it in all the ways that you thought he could ruin it.
Ruin it. Yeah.
So to get away from that depression, I want to switch this up. What if you were Thanos and you were able to do the snap of the fingers 50-50 with different elements of your life? Oh, I just came up with one, so I'll lead off.
Okay.
So this one's kind of weird, but as an adult, it matters.
As
As a
an adult.
kid, you just deal with it. As an adult,
Oh,
you're kind of like, hey, I have the power to do this. So Glade or Febreze? 50-50. One of them stays, one of them goes. And so that would mean all the sprays, all the plugins, the
ooh,
car air freshener. Because you and I are struggling with that right now because of how their air fresheners are built. And so
right.
there's certain times where Febreze is amazing, and then there's certain times where Glade's amazing. The only reason I didn't put Bath and Body Works didn't put Wallflowers is because Wallflowers are supreme.
They are supreme.
Fight me
They
if
are.
you want to. If you don't like Wallflowers, that actually tells me that you're cheap. Said it,
Yeah.
meant it. That's all that is. You don't like it because they're expensive. And they
Right.
are. They're expensive when they're on sale, but you know what? They work just like their candles, just like their lotion.
It just works.
So I started off this question, but I have ruined it for myself. I don't even know the answer to this question because for some things it's Glade and for some things it's Febreze. So when it comes to spray,
I prefer Glade over Febreze, only because when I see Febreze or think Febreze, I'm thinking like fabric,
mhm,
like spraying it on the couch, refreshing an area, not necessarily thinking of it as like an aerosol, let's freshen the room type of deal.
right.
And I feel like Glade also has some sort of fabric thing.
So they both have both. Febreze has
Right.
an air, Febreze air, and then Glade has Glade fabric. So
Yeah.
that doesn't help at all. I think that we're just gonna split on this one because I'm gonna go Febreze. However, for your car air freshener, I go Glade. You see what I'm saying? Like it
Oh,
just depends on what
yeah.
the product is. I don't know.
Sensor diverse too.
I honestly feel like this one is a 50-50 that I wouldn't know until I snap my fingers, and that's kind of dangerous.
Oh, it's more than kinda. It's living on the edge there, babe.
I mean, just imagine full panel. One table is full of every Glade product ever made. One table
Right,
is full of every Febreze product ever made. You snap, and you have no idea which one's about to go bye bye.
right. Yeah, no, I
It's
don't like
literally the Thanos effect
it's
in
literally
reality, because he
right.
didn't even know. He was just like, "All I know is half of y'all gotta go. Pick a straw." Like, okay.
And
Next
then
one.
the part that kills me about him though, he even said he picked the wrong half when it afterwards.
Jeez. What?
Yeah,
I don't
like
want to
he
talk
even
about it.
admits to like half his plan work the way he had intended, he selected the wrong half.
I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Ooh, this one's a good one to end on. If you can see inside the dock right now, go to the bottom and see what I just put. This is funny. What does my mind do?
Oh dear.
Next one, we're gonna jump into the world of fashion. So we're gonna be kind of all over the place,
We are.
just because that's how my mind works. The next one is fashion, and this one is one that crosses my mind all the time. Nike or Adidas?
That one's easy for me.
Is it? Then you go first.
Yeah. Nike. I just
Wow.
it's just that simple. I as much as I don't really shop like, you know, athletic wear, yeah, I see myself more so buying Nike before I would buy Adidas. And out of all the stuff that I have more Nike stuff than Adidas. So Nike.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with you, but I'm picking Adidas
Okay.
because I root for the little guy. I'd even go a step further and go Under Armour
Mm,
because if we're talking apparel, I go Adidas or Under Armour and I leave Nike alone just because everybody wears Nike. It's
yeah,
so easy to come across a Nike shirt that you didn't even know was a Nike shirt.
right.
It's just too easy. And Adidas is making its rise. Under Armour pulling up third, and quietly, Reebok is making a comeback. So we could go down that line if we wanted to. But I go Adidas not because of what I own, but what I could own. And I would just rather root for the little guy.
Fair.
Because if we're going by what I own, it's neither one of them. It's Jordans. And it's actually a mixture of things. I have no brand loyalty. So, it doesn't bother me one bit. You may take the next topic. Let's just do you do 2 and then I do 2.
Okay. Ooh, yay. That means I get the two.
Yeah, the 2 that you're just yeah, those work out great in your favor, whatever.
Me too. All right. So next on our list of topics, the 50-50 snap for McDonald's and Burger King. Um, I still stay where I was when we picked this topic. I am still going Burger King, especially after lunch today. Lunch was great. Um, to solidify my love for them because yeah, I grew up with it, so it's kind of hard for me to root for McDonald's because I didn't start eating McDonald's until the move to Georgia. Like it wasn't a big thing growing up. But Burger King, any given Friday.
Understood. I'm the opposite. I had both of them, and so I had you know the exact city I grew up in. So,
Yeah,
um, they're across the street from each other. It was easy
literally.
to get to either one. Um, I always chose McDonald's though. And I think for me, the draw to McDonald's was actually the play place and the
Okay.
toy. McDonald's always had better toys than Burger King. Fight me on that. Like,
Mhm.
there was one point where McDonald's was giving out CDs. Like, I got a Backstreet Boy CD from McDonald's. Like, come on.
I think the
Um,
coolest thing I got from Burger King was maybe they did watches.
they had Pokemon.
They had
They
Pokemon,
had
yeah.
Power Rangers. Um, the draw for me for McDonald's, I think, was see, I don't know if you remember this because now you're saying you didn't eat McDonald's too much, but back in my day, the McFlurry machine worked. So
Yeah.
the draw for me was I could get a McFlurry. Burger King did not have did they have apple pies? Like, they just didn't have a draw for me on the dessert side.
They had brownies actually for a little bit of
Well, they
time.
had the Hershey pie, they still have
Pie.
that.
Yeah.
Burger King was a one-trick pony for me, and it didn't work out. So, my vote on that is McDonald's, easy peasy.
Okay. So the next one, which I'm mad that you separated the next two categories. It's fine,
To be
but I
honest, it's
still
because it's the same answer, you can smush them together if you'd like.
Yay!
It's not gonna matter. I thought it might help if there's someone out there who's struggling, we could help them, but, you know.
Snuggle-lugging. Okay, so the next, which means I do 3 this time, I'm sorry. The next 2 categories are probably going to make our comment section very angry, and I care not, because this is my hot take. You guys asked for one, and now you've gotten it. So, the next 2 categories are gonna fall together. We have Mac versus PC, and then Apple versus Android. Um, Anyone that disagrees with me, keep it to yourself because I don't care. Um, so my choices in both categories are, of course, the Apple products. Here's why. I'm hoping at one day that this will. I currently have an iPad and an iPhone, and I run several Apple processes on my laptop right now, which unfortunately is a PC. But I'm looking for my MacBook. If anyone has any ideas, come over. I just don't understand. Argue this. I don't. If you are creative, an Android is never going to do what you want it to do because it's Google. That really is really Mac and Apple versus Google. I'm sorry, they lap you every time. But functionality, ease of use, I'm sorry, but even old people in arguing this, all you did was buy into Google. I get it. You may say I'm buying into Apple. I don't care because at least I have one login that works on all of my devices. My face gets me into all of my devices. I don't know how it gets any better than that. I don't. I'm done.
I literally have nothing to say to that, so we're just gonna go to the next one. Um, as
Is there
a
agreement? Disagreement?
did you what? We're not even gonna go there. As an IT professional, and I don't like to flex that I'm an IT professional because I haven't been in it that long. Um, PCs are great for the everyday user that's not trying to do anything more than open something, read something, email something. If you're trying to watch something, create something, edit something, it starts getting a little weird. You cannot game on a Mac, that's not what I'm saying, but what you were saying about creating things, I I laugh at these Surface commercials where they're like, "Look, I can draw." No, you cannot. Draw what? A tic-tac-toe board? Okay. So I work with PCs, but you know what I do? Actually, I fix them because they're always broken. Haha. Sorry. So Apple all the way. I'm in the same boat that the Mac Lab is coming. I've got all kinds of ideas. I don't have all kinds of money. So I don't want to buy something that does too much or too little. Macs
Right.
are pricey. That's why people don't like Apple products. Let's be honest. It's like I said about wildflowers. You don't like it because you can't afford it. That's fine. But don't hate on my Maserati because you can't afford it. Okay? Get what you can afford, get what you can handle, whatever your IT expertise is, whatever your computer knowledge is. But Apple is dummy proof. So it's not that you don't understand it. You've probably never tried. You don't like it because it's expensive. And guess what? In that case, that means Apple wasn't made for you anyway. They made it, it's expensive because it does a lot of stuff. You just have to be able to untap all that.
Like I just it doesn't make sense to me. When is the last time you heard a Mac user say, oh, I need to go get my Mac repaired.
You don't repair a Mac, you just get a new one.
Mhm. Like, there is something to tell that there are people, my parents included, that purchase Macs and have had them for almost 10 years, and they run like they're brand new.
Mhm,
For a lot of people, that is your last computer you ever have to buy.
mhm.
Like, I don't see the draw to PCs that we have to replace every, what, 4 to 5 years if we're lucky?
Yeah, it's strange, but the way I see it, no matter what side you're on between Mac and PC, you're on that side probably for life. You're on the side of Apple versus Android for life, usually. I'm
Usually.
someone that had an iPhone. There was an update that happened and I hated it. So I had an iPhone 4. So whatever update that was before the 5 came out, I hated it. I left. I went Android. I had a Samsung, a Motorola, and an LG. And I ended up
Okay.
coming back to iPhone at iPhone 6. Here I am with a 12 Pro Max, never looking back. So there's going to be some people that switch sides for whatever reason, but I'm done switching sides because I have figured out, okay, I never should have left. I got angry and I didn't mean it, and now I'm back. Please forgive me. Like that's where that is where I am because for what you for all the stuff you can get into in regards to a cell phone, Android's not it. The security on Apple is just when's the
Uh,
last time you locked yourself out and couldn't get back in and Apple's like, "Cool. We're gonna lock it for 10 days. If it's really you, you'll wait."
right.
I've had to go through it twice. So, yeah. Moving forward. Um, I could have added like a third to this one or even a fourth, but that could turn into a podcast by itself. The way that that Apple Android thing almost did. Got off the rails there. Ford or Chevy?
Ugh.
So this one, initially, I was saying it because, origin of cars and whatnot. And then it's like, oh, you mean like an F-150 versus a Silverado? No, I mean a Mustang versus a Camaro. I mean all of them.
Oof.
And
Oof.
this one's a curveball. Do you want to go first?
This one's a curveball for me because no, I think they're both the same. The more that I think about it, no, I think my answer is the same for both. If you go cars, you already know what my dream car is, so I immediately go Ford. Um, but then I was thinking about like SUVs and trucks. I think I still go Ford. Um, yeah, I think that's still what we do.
Here's why it's actually a curveball.
Okay.
It's neither. Get rid of both of them. Dodge is supreme.
Oh,
Yeah. I don't need
yeah.
your
Right.
Mustang. I don't need your Camaro because I got a Charger and a Challenger. Sit down. Yeah. Who cares about your puny little F-150, your Silverado, your Colorado? You don't even know what to name your trucks. I got a Ram, and I'm gonna ram you off the road. I don't care. Moving forward, thank you.
Going Ford.
Marvel or DC? Now this one's weird because like if you choose to get rid of Marvel, you technically would be getting rid of yourself because you're Thanos. But okay, get rid of some of the logic in it. Um, so I have Superman tattooed on me, but Superman is the only person I care about in DC. But like Marvel, and this is purely because of the movies they've done. Marvel is um there's no way to kindly say this, but beating up DC. That's the way I'll put it.
Yeah.
So I'm going Marvel because there's no explanation needed after that.
Yeah, no, they are beating the crap out of DC. And that's what makes me so upset about that topic because comic books DC was supreme. I have to say that the comic book side of it, DC reigned supreme, and then the production companies that were in charge wet the fucking bed. Like, dude, you did this completely wrong. You put too much on a vigilante. Like, don't get me started. Don't get me started on how much I just cannot stand him. Like,
Then you
you
better move
ruined.
off this topic because you know if you get me going, that's
Yeah,
2 hours, okay?
you you ruined a perfectly good franchise by putting so much money into someone that if you took away his money, he is nothing. I just ugh. So all day I choose Marvel. Like, I'm sorry.
Easy peasy.
Easy peasy. Because the other side of that is not only do we have the Avengers, but we also get X-Men. I'm sorry. You gave me 2, not just one group of just incredible badasses, but you gave me 2 groups of incredible badasses. And I know there's going to be that person that argues that, yeah, but you have Justice League and Suicide Squad. No, not
Not
the
even,
same.
not even.
That is
And
not
there's
the same.
also an element to X-Men that people forget about, and so those that are deeper into the comics always bring this up. There's several different groups of X-Men. It changes
Yes,
with the timeline.
it does. It does. And that is the beauty of them. Like, dude.
Like if you were to ask someone to name 3 original X-Men, they're probably gonna get one right, but that's probably also them guessing. They don't actually know. They're just gonna get lucky on one of those.
Yep. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
again, that's almost as easy as Apple and Android. Like, why are we even having this conversation? That's not a fair fight at all.
Nope. Not in the slightest is it a fair fight.
It's the next one, mine or yours?
Yeah, I'm okay with it being yours because I feel like I did 3.
Yeah, I don't know anymore. We're supposed to be doing 2, but some of them kind of whatever. So, Target or Walmart? Um, as someone that used to work at both, one of them is the better brand, but I think one because it covers more real estate, literally. I just feel like if you get rid of Walmart, that is a lot of chaos we're not asking for. If you get rid of Walmart, does that mean that Kmart has a resurgence? Because if
I
we're in a world where Walmart goes down and it's just Target, we're not in a good place. I also like the color scheme of Walmart because it's not just 2 colors. There's green Walmarts and gray Walmarts and oranges and navies and there's some white ones, I guess. I guess it's just a really light gray. But I just feel like you can't get rid of Walmart. Just seems like it could really mess some stuff up.
we've had this conversation. I just as much as I understand where you're coming from, I still feel like Target's the one to keep. I just feel like it's a better brand. And it's because that's another one of those things from my town. We rarely shopped Walmart growing up. It was really weird if my grandmother or my mother said, "Hey, let's go to Walmart," because our Target had everything. It had a garden center, we had a food court, uh, it had an automotive section, but they didn't have, like, a auto garage situation,
So
like.
let me interrupt. Hold on. You did not have a Target, you had a super Target. That's
Yeah.
not the same thing. Like a Walmart is not the same as a super Walmart. Walmart also has a Walmart market. Target just has Target and Super Target. Walmart has a standalone grocery store. Because if Walmart goes down, what you're missing is Sam's goes down too. You losing
Mm.
Sam's. Are you willing to part ways with Sam's?
See, and that is where.
It's like Target is not, connected to Costco. They're separate.
Yeah.
like Walmart going down is Walmart Market, Sam's. We really trying to like think about what that does inside just our city. How many Walmarts we have, they all go away. How many markets we have, they all go away, and then we lose Sam's. We have one Target.
We have
We have
few.
no Kmart. We
Mhm.
have a couple of Krogers, a couple of struggling Food Lions. What happens
Keyword
if
struggle.
our city loses Walmart?
Okay. All
I'm
right. Maybe
just throwing it out there. You are crushing a whole society if Walmart goes kablooey.
you are killing a whole
Because
section
I'm
of.
only like I'm talking about here, but if you think back to go to the city where I grew up in, get rid of their Walmart. Kroger's across the street. They survive. Go to the city next to my grandparents. They lose Walmart. Kmart's
Yeah,
gone.
one.
They have two grocery stores, but they're also not a super Walmart. So there's that. They do have a Walmart market, so that'd be gone. Oh, the other thing that Walmart has that Target doesn't, gas station. You lose the
Okay.
Sam's gas station too.
Hmm.
Yeah, just you have to think about the whole the whole infrastructure just goes
Hold
boom.
on, slots just got real. Okay.
We cannot allow Walmart to go down, okay? All right. I'm gonna
Okay.
do either you do the next two or I do the next two. But
Ew.
these are kind of together, so they need to be two.
Yeah, I will do the next two because these are good ones. Okay, so the great debates. These are the great debates. Starting with coffee. Okay. Um, we are now going to cover what I wish more societies will understand the difference between these are two totally different types of people. I just happen to be the foremost of the two types of people. So there are two types of people in this world. You're either a Starbucks person or you're a Dunkin' person, and I am a Starbucks person. I am. I'm sorry. Even though, don't get me wrong, it when it comes to getting it from a store, so like the bag coffee or the K-cups, I can understand getting Dunkin' that way. Because yes, it is a better coffee for the person that's just like, "Want a quick cup of coffee." But there's something about Starbucks that makes you forget that you're drinking coffee, and that's why I love it so much. I think that's why a lot of people love it. Um, Starbucks is an experience, and only a certain group of people go to Starbucks. Like, Starbucks got me through freshman year of college. It did, because I'd take my stuff with me, I could study, I could sit there, I could get coffee if I wanted, I could get tea if I wanted. I enjoy their cider and their hot chocolates. Like, that got me through my freshman year because it was a quiet place away from my damn dorm. Like, that's just in all honesty. The second half of that would be another one where, to me, Dunkin', you lose again. Krispy Kreme versus Dunkin'. Dunkin' is not donuts. Those are not donuts. So they automatically lose. Krispy Kreme is the only company that I know of that currently does donuts correctly and they're actually fried. Those are not donuts. Krispy Kreme is a donut. It's supposed to, as soon as you go to try to bite it, melt away. Okay? There's no argument. The Dunkins can go away. They can go bye bye. You may proceed.
Nope, that was it. 100%. All that. I don't drink coffee, but if I did, it would be Starbucks because it allows me to mix and match and figure out what I want. Krispy Kreme, donuts do the same thing. So, and I've even gotten coffee from Krispy Kreme with my donuts, and surprisingly, their chocolate milk is it it pairs better with the donut. I never thought about drinking milk with a donut because I'm like, that's just a lot going on. So like, you don't care about my mouth at all. Okay, appreciate that. Um, but yeah, those two things are a no-brainer for me. Now, if you like Dunkin', because there are people, the people that are loyal to Starbucks are the same people that are loyal to Dunkin'. So,
Yeah.
the lines at both of them are always long, so I'm here for the battle that they've created amongst each other. I just know which side I'm on, and I mean, not to say I don't care, because I'm not a coffee drinker, but if I was, it would be Starbucks. I also think that they have more locations, so it's just easier for me to get to. Example, Target has a Starbucks in there. So a lot of, was it Books a Million or Barnes and Noble that has a agreement with Starbucks to be in their bookstores?
Barnes and Noble. That was
Yeah.
another place that I ended up during my freshman year
Yeah,
to
I just
do
feel like the
fine.
accessibility kind of makes me go there more, but I don't know. It's always been a thing with me to go Starbucks, because the other thing, Starbucks, it's not just coffee. The teas, the hot chocolate got me. I got hot chocolate from Starbucks every day when I was in New York because it was smack in the middle of winter and I'm a Southern belle, and I was like, people live here on purpose? No. So
Mm.
yeah, every 30 minutes, because there really is a Starbucks on every block in New York, I would finish my cup and put it in the trash can of the Starbucks I was at. Seriously. So Starbucks has a fond place in my heart because it kept me warm. So next to, okay, so this first one that's coming up, I
Mhm.
don't even know how I came up with this topic. Um,
Mm.
but here we are. North Face or
I don't
Patagonia?
I don't know how you came up with this either.
Actually, I remember how it came up, but anyway. Um, I feel like Patagonia's doing what Reebok's doing, having a little resurgence, kind of catching up. It's getting back into the view of people. North
Mm.
Face has always been like the winter jacket, coat, rainwater resistant. It's always been like the thing. And so if you're getting rid of one, I mean, sorry, but don't you get rid of the one that you're not familiar with? You get rid of Patagonia.
Right.
And I don't know how the prices are. I happen to know that North Face is expensive, and that's why I've never owned one, because it only gets cold 3 days a year here. And I'm not spending $75 on something that I have to go find in my closet. So never owned one, but always wanted one. So cool.
Right.
I feel like Patagonia's got more non-jacket things, so like their backpacks. But yeah, sorry if I'm getting rid of one. It'd be the lesser known brand.
Yeah, I agree. I can't see me doing honestly, I can't see me doing any of those. Like, even with you bringing up the backpack thing, if I had to pick a backpack, I want JanSport.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, like
Well,
I don't see it, dude.
you're no fun. Next up, Lowe's or Home Depot. When I was a child, I feel like I lived in Home Depot. I feel like Home Depot was the spot. I don't know what has happened in the past 10 years, but Home Depot does nothing for me. Lowe's is the spot.
So here's the deal. As someone that is currently working for an appliance company, I hate both of these companies now. I hate
Someone who
them.
had to resurrect our yard, Lowe's was the homie. I got all the hookups. Also, Lowe's has a military discount, Home Depot doesn't. Sup with that.
Like, I totally get your perspective. I do. I just
To be fair,
currently
we didn't get any appliances from there, so,
yeah, currently I'm very salty with them. That's all it really is just the level of salt that I feel because they both make my job a living hell.
we're gonna vote by proxy, and we're just gonna vote for Home Depot to get kicked off on that one. You're welcome.
Yeah, yeah. Just I'm salty because both of their customer services are just no.
Hey, we can't all be Target and Chick-fil-A, alright? Somebody's gotta
Ooh,
have bad customer service, okay? We can't all be pleasing everybody.
yeah, well.
Next topic's yours.
Ooh, yay! All right, so in the 50-50 snap, are you getting rid of your college insert sport here rival or your NFL rival? And for both of us, I feel like it's the same answer for both. It's college, because down with Saban. Said it. I said it. I'm so ready for this man to retire that if
So
I can snap and he's gone, my college life becomes great.
so yeah, you're right that it's college because I don't have an NFL rival. And to be fair, like you don't either. It's just, oh, you again. That's not a
Mm,
rival.
no.
Um, while we're here, since you said insert sport here, and that's not what that says, it's implied that it was football. Thank you.
Football. Yeah.
So if you take it another step and make it your NBA rival or your college basketball rival, me getting rid of my college basketball rival makes my team useless because that's all we
Oh,
got. No, it does. Because
no, no
without
idea.
them versus them, I'll reveal the name in a second. Without the two of them fighting each other, what am I watching?
No, you're right.
They both exist to fight each other. What am I watching? Like right now, last year, I'm super upset about what happened last year, but I don't care because our games against them were good.
Mm,
That's all that matters. My NBA rival, I don't have one because it's my guy versus the NBA. So I can't make all of y'all disappear. Because again, what are we without the rival? So my
yeah.
college basketball team is Duke because when I was growing up, when I was in eighth grade, we moved to Virginia, and Virginia is a basketball state. I don't care what you say about y'all's football. Y'all go to school to learn up there, and that's fine by me. There's not a single Virginia school that for football that gives me any worry. Virginia
Mm.
Tech had 1 year that I was like, oh, look at them. And they sputtered. Moving on. So I got into basketball. The kid that sat next to me was a UNC fan. And so I just watched Duke just to bother him. And it was fun for me. So Duke getting snap of the finger and I get rid of UNC does nothing for me. My
Mm.
NFL team, first of all, my NFL team is not good enough to have a rival, but even if we had one, I wouldn't get rid of them because that's probably what's making us relevant. So, my NFL team is the Jaguars. Shut up. Don't say anything. It has nothing to do with football. Shut up.
It's nothing to do with football, yet it's a
So,
football.
yeah,
Okay.
my college football team is Georgia, and therefore that means my rival, which is your rival, is
Yeah.
Bama/Saban. You
Yeah.
get rid of them, we're back to having fun again. Like,
Yeah.
you're sitting
Like,
here
we're
winning
European.
10 games and it means nothing.
Mhm.
Didn't Auburn fire their coach and he won every game but 1 or 2? I mean,
Yeah.
come on. Which I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure we did the same thing to Mark Richt. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So, very easy. Get rid of your college rival. Leave the pros alone.
Yep.
Okay, I want the next topic
I knew you did.
because I don't actually have an answer for this. So I'm gonna have to talk it out. Get rid of crypto or get rid of cash, which means Good old debit and credit are still around. So, in other words, what we have is the boomers saying, "What's up with all this digital stuff? Get rid of it." And we got the millennials saying, "Who needs cash anymore? Get rid of it." And I'm just like, I'm right in the middle of that because I am anti-cash and have been anti-cash since losing $200 in cash for no reason at all. And so now I refuse to keep cash on me. I'm also very wary of my money being digital on a server somewhere that I don't know where it is and could potentially get locked up or let's just say deleted, right? Or hacked, and then my money's completely gone. So I feel like a whole debit credit thing, I feel like we're right where we need to be. Feel like we should sit down and shut up on that one. What are your thoughts? Go backwards or go into hyperdrive?
I'm one of those weird people that's like in between. And I think that's because a lot of the places that I go to do certain things only function on cash because of what they get charged to be electronic. Like the reason that Leah's hairdresser doesn't accept anything but cash is because on the backside of it, she's being charged almost 10% on every transaction she makes. For a hairdresser, that you may as well be taking a bill out of their pockets. Like it is not feasible for her to function and maintain her business through crypto. On the same side of that, as an e-commerce person that I am, and liking the fact that I can do most of my business online, it's very hard to then transition to cash. Like I'm stuck in the middle there. And then I'm also part of that last generation where they taught us how to write checks. Like, if you're getting rid of cash, are you also getting rid of checks or are you keeping checks
I
as being
think that
part of
you're getting
crypto?
rid of checks because checks also have that electronic processing fee type attached to it, and checks have a delay on getting processed. Cash, it's in my hand, it's right here. I know what I got.
Right,
So, haircut, $25. You hand me a 20 and a 5. I know that I have $25. A
right,
check, I have to figure out what bank it's going to. So even if you're digital and you take a picture of it, is it getting
right,
processed that day?
right,
And so I still have to hold on to it. Or to know that it kind of gets processed or it's in the system, you go to the ATM. You better hope the ATM's working and accepting it.
right,
I am in the middle. Like I get rid of cash as if it's like some sort of hot commodity, like stolen. I don't keep cash on me. Like if I've got cash on me for more than a day, I'm worried about it. I don't do cash. And that's just based on the past of me losing it and the
right,
fear of losing it again. So, but
right,
I think my vote uh I think my vote is get rid of cash
right,
only because the people that are holding on to cash can adapt. You can print more money, you can also create more crypto. It's just my issue with cash is physically it can be destroyed.
right,
If you have money in your hand and the wind takes it, it belongs to the wind now. Crypto's got all the security and this and that, but I don't know. That's my personal vendetta against cash, though.
yeah, I can understand it.
You can take these next two.
Okay, so these two are kind of related. So,
True. I didn't even see that. Look at the wow. Look at me. All right.
so the These are different for me because I think at different stages in my life I would have had two different answers, but currently the current me would side one side over the other. So this is your shopping malls versus shopping outlets. Currently in my position of life, I currently go outlet over mall. The reason I go outlet over mall, honestly, is pricing. I feel like you get better deals at outlets than you do at malls. That's just personal opinion.
So for me, I don't prefer I prefer the outlet over the mall, but not for that reason. The
Okay.
outlet allows me to go directly to that store and stop
Right.
from getting distracted by so I'm a really good browser. I'm really good at not impulse buying things, but it's just why be in the mall for an hour when I was supposed to be here for 10 minutes? Because there is nothing worse than trying to dodge Cinnabon and the pretzel place. Like there are certain so in our mall, GameStop is across the hall from the food court. That's unnecessary. I just came for a controller. Now I'm leaving with a controller, a Cinnabon, a pretzel, and a two meat combo from my favorite Japanese restaurant. That was unnecessary. Oh, and by the way, I didn't even get the controller. They were out of stock. Okay? Let's start
Yeah.
why. In an outlet, I just go in out.
And
So
out.
my favorite outlet is one of the cities I used to live in, and right at the entrance or exit,
Mhm,
depending on which way you came in, there was Ben and Jerry's. And
mhm.
so I would park in front of Ben and Jerry's, walk to wherever I had to go to Ben and Jerry's, and then I'm at the car because ice cream melts. But I didn't get distracted by, oh, look, there's Coach. Oh, look, there's the Chanel store. None of that mattered to me because I was on a mission. There's something about an outlet that just feels like it's separated better and you just want to go ahead and get it done. Maybe it's because you're outside in the elements and you're
Oh,
in
yeah.
this rush to like get back to your car and you're just
Right.
like, no, there's no point going in there because I'm not getting anything. Doesn't matter. Bye. Maybe that's what it is. But for me, outlet all day.
Yeah. Yeah. And then on the other side of that, we have the beauty franchises, which you should already know my side of this. This is Sephora versus Ulta. They're the same exact store, but I don't know what it is. Maybe because most of them are connected to another one of my favorite stores, but I am always more than likely going to pick going into Sephora before I go into an Ulta. And that is honestly because of JCPenney's. Like that's it. Like the whole reason that I got into makeup was walking past Sephora in a JCPenney's and just looking at all the pretty things. Like that was it. Like before all of that, I would go in and I just saw, yeah, yeah. I would be with my mom, my grandmother, their favorite place in the world to go before Sephora became a thing was Dillard's for the MAC counter. So we wore MAC forever. And then Sephora pops up and everything changed. Like, and then to strengthen my love more, the first place that I was able to find a foundation that actually worked for me because a beautiful goddess decided that she wanted to start making makeup was Sephora. Like, I can't get away from Sephora just because of Fenty. That is it. That is it. Ulta can't do anything for me because Sephora has my first love. That's it. Nothing else to say. And another reason,
I
Urban
have never been inside an Ulta, I don't think, and if I was, it must have been short-lived because I happen to know that Sephora's cologne section, I'm in I how many times have we gone in Sephora and you had to come find me?
Oh, several,
Like, I'm just like,
several.
"Yeah, great, but, like, this one, okay, but this one, okay, but this one," like, I don't know what occurs inside of an Ulta, so, That doesn't matter. So Sephora, you get to stay. Ulta, bye bye. This next one, this one's kind of this one's normally we've been doing twos, but this one is a three-way split
Yeah.
just because like they're together, but to me there's a clear-cut winner.
Yeah.
J.C. Penney, Macy's, or Dillard's. Okay, it's J.C. Penney gets to stay 100%. Macy's is overpriced. All I
Yeah.
do is walk through Dillard's. I've never stopped and actually looked at a shirt, a sock, a shoe. Dillard's, how are you still in business? Macy's, you need to just slash your prices and have yourself like a grand summer sale and you'll be right back in that thing.
I can tell you
JCPenney
like
is
Dillard's store.
struggling, but
Yeah.
hanging in there. Like I am fearful that JCPenney is gonna become Sears and we're gonna lose them.
Mhm.
But Dillard's and Macy's do nothing for me. And I
So
feel like malls usually have either one of those or all of them as anchor stores.
yeah.
So our mall here has all three and just lost Sears.
Yeah.
So if Sears, I mean, if you want to put Sears in this, go ahead. But Sears, like Kmart, because they're the same thing, it's just kind of let's not talk about them. You know, they're on their last leg.
Yeah. So the reason, and you would not know this because I don't participate in this anymore. The reason that Dillard's is still around is the charity sale. Every year, Dillard's does a charity sale for designer handbags. And that is what I think is keeping them in business. I think because so many people look forward to the annual Dillard sale that they have just stuck around to provide that sale for people. I don't think that there is anything else that Dillard's provides to us other than cheap handbags. That's it. That's the thing that's keeping them afloat, and it's sad but terribly true. I I don't know. Village just kind of falls off of this one. I agree with you that Macy's is they do too freaking much, and they also kind of fall off the bag for me because I'm just like, why do you have to exist? But I get it, I guess. Like it just doesn't give to me. It doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, literally just on the same page.
Yeah.
I'm not someone that I already said like I'm not brand loyal. Like if you've got it, you've got it. I got into polo. It's like 6 years ago now. And the place to get polo where I lived was Dillard's, and I was like, "Oh, so I guess I'm not getting polo, cause what?" It
What?
was like 75 bucks a shirt, and don't get me wrong, I was actually making really good money back then, but not to put it towards a shirt, you know? So, Dillard's just never Dillard's is where I park if I want to be a little secluded and unbothered,
Mm-hmm.
and it never fails at that parking lot, it's not crazy. And I go in and go to wherever I have to go in the mall. That's right, Dillard's. I'm using you. That's right. Next one's yours, I believe. I don't know. Is it mine?
You let me do the last one because of
Oh, okay. All right. This one is a throwback, as is the next one. So these two are nostalgia answers. Nokia or Motorola? Nokia, if I'm not mistaken, is the phone that my mom had, and I used to play Snake on. And
Mm-hmm.
that just I mean, we're talking about hours of, "No!" And then all you hit was retry.
Mm-hmm.
There was no rage quitting when you played Snake, you kept going to outdo yourself or your sibling till the phone died, in which case
Mm-hmm.
now your parents are super mad. Um, Motorola, I don't know if it was the first flip phone, but it was the first flip phone I remember my parents getting. But besides the flip, I didn't gain anything. So I don't know. I don't I can't think of anything, like, super cool about either one of them, but Nokia, I feel like, paved the way and then kinda got trampled. So just
Yeah.
as a nod to the past, I think I keep Nokia.
Um, Here's my thought on this category. Even if you tried to snap the Nokia phones away, they wouldn't go.
True. That's the most durable piece
Nokia
of
was the
technology ever.
most like, they were the most indestructible phones you could get, so I highly doubt that a Thanos snap is gonna do anything. They're still digging up Nokia phones and being able to turn them on.
Oh, no joke. Like my parents, if I go in their junk drawer, they have, if not two, like they've got either one of each or they've got both of them. Because my parents don't believe in giving. So back then you didn't like trade in your cell phone; you just got a new one. So they didn't like throw them away or recycle them or anything. They still have all of that. I guarantee you, I can plug in one of those Nokias and it'll just light up like it's new.
You'd still be able to play Snake. Like, I
Seriously, yeah.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, I don't think that happens. I have yet to see pictures of people being able to locate old Motorola's.
Yeah. Yep.
Like, seriously.
So in
Alright.
that case, my vote is now changed. Let's get rid of Nokia, and now that means we get to keep both.
Right.
Loophole.
Loophole. Alright, so the next one's mine. Um, and I'm very one-sided on this. I'm
Very.
sorry. And it's mainly because I only got to really experience these 2 things through movies because I grew up without cable. I didn't have cable until late into my teens, and it just at that point, I was already molded. I was who I was gonna be. Sorry, guys. Um, so this is Disney versus Nickelodeon. I was one of those kids that had still have every single Disney VHS there was. Every Disney movie that came out, my family went out and bought me the VHSs. I have them all, and I have seen all of the Disney movies except for some recent movies. I don't think that I saw Brother Bear. I don't remember seeing that one. That one is definitely on my list of have not watched, but everybody else, all the Disney classics, I've seen them. I've even seen ones that are Disney classics that I don't think a lot of people knew about. Like my favorite Disney movie is by far Bed Knobs and Broomsticks. No one is going to know what that is unless they're like 40 years old, but it is one of my favorites. Um Mainly because of who the main character is. Do you remember the main actress for Murder, She Wrote?
Why would I know that?
Oh, come on, you didn't do Murder, She Wrote either?
Why would I know that?
Anyway, anyone
What
that has
channel did
never
Murder,
seen
She Wrote come on?
CBS? It was
Uh,
one of those things that my grandmother made me watch because she loved it. Like, yeah.
um, I was only watching PBS Kids until Dan Rather came on. So
Okay, so yeah, you would have missed that one. Um, yeah, I'm Disney. I didn't start like I said, till my late teens is when I started watching Disney Channel, and then at that point, I was still there for the movies. I think my favorite Disney Channel movie is probably Twitches. Um,
ugh.
yeah, yeah, I was there for Twitches, Halloween Town,
Ugh.
13th Year,
You know
like,
what? We're coming up on October. All that crap's
yeah,
about
all
to
that
go.
crap's about to come on again. I just love it.
I have
Um,
to avoid her for the entire month of October because it's also her birthday too. So she's on like this queen hierarchy, like, ooh, it's my month. And I just have to like leave. 30 days, I just disappear.
31,
No, first
31.
I'm hanging around because I got to make sure rent's paid. But after that, I'm gone. Gonna go move in with my mom for 30 days. So,
is not that
this
insufferable.
may come as a surprise to you. I too am gonna go Disney because Nickelodeon number one. Let's make this Marvel and DC, right? Disney
Right.
crushed it. Nickelodeon fell asleep at the wheel. There are
Oh,
so many things that Nickelodeon could have and should have done that they didn't. The
yeah.
only one of your shows that you did have a rise with, much like Batman, you put too much into it, which was
Mm.
Rugrats. You put all your
Oh, yeah.
resources into Rugrats and you left everybody else to fend for themselves, and it didn't work. Why did Rocket Power sputter the way it did?
Oh,
Come
God.
on.
And
Rocket
that's
Power
one
was
of
the
the
only
Nickelodeon.
cartoon like that
Yeah.
at that time. I mean, the next closest one would have been like Recess, I guess. But
I remember
Rocket Power was its own thing and you let it go because you honed in on Rugrats. Now, of course, at the time, as a child, I'm enjoying all of this stuff, but it sputtered.
Yeah.
I feel the same way about Hey Arnold. Like, I get
Mm.
that you meant for it to be a mystery about his parents, but the way that you clued in on that movie and then left us hanging, we're upset about that.
Mm.
You could have gave me more. You also could have done like the way that Rugrats did All Grown Up. You could
Mm.
have done that with
Mhm.
literally every single one of your shows, except for the ones where they were adults. But you could have gave us more. I just feel I don't know if Nickelodeon ran out of resources because of like the Nickelodeon awards and stuff. They just put too much money into non-cartoon things. But
Mm.
Nickelodeon sputtered, and so Nickelodeon kids like myself, we can't even argue against Disney kids. It's just like DC and Marvel. If you're DC, what are we talking about?
If you're
Because that
DC, you're
conversation
not
doesn't go very far. So
right.
yeah, I'm with you. Plus, there's a whole theme park out there, and what do we have?
Right.
Like,
Right.
okay, so Nickelodeon falls under Viacom, falls under Paramount. At least it
Mouth.
used to. I don't know. And so
Mhm.
one of your parks is King's Dominion. King's
Mhm.
Dominion is in Virginia. The only problem with that is an hour and a half, 2 hours away is Busch Gardens. Oops. Like I don't know what to do with Nickelodeon, so that's unfortunate. So here's our grand finale. We did not pre-discuss this, so this one's great. So since we started with, hey, Thanos did the 50-50 snap thing, and here we are. What villain are you okay getting rid of? And so in this case, it's Thanos or Lex Luthor. Because I decided to go Marvel DC because we keep making that comparison with all of our stuff.
Yep.
Um, Thanos holds a very special place in my angry heart
You're
because
angry.
Thanos ruined all good things that were happening with the Avengers and
Mhm.
Marvel as a whole. Thanos is why Black Widow's dead.
Mm.
Thanos is why Tony Stark is dead.
Mhm.
And I'm just gonna stop there because those are the only two that I was just like, okay, what? Okay,
We
this
lost
movie, like,
people out
what?
for no reason. Like,
This movie's a joke, right? Is there 2 more hours behind this? What do you mean that's the end? Huh?
we're gonna bring you back, right? Like,
Yeah, I was like, "Oh, so, like, Endgame 2? Not Endgame? Un-Endgame? What are we doing?" Yeah. Lex Luthor, I mean, he's a bad dude and all, but justified.
yeah. Yeah.
And so you could really, like, insert DC villain here. You could put Joker here.
Mm.
You could put Doc here. You've got options.
You
Um,
gotta.
I just went Lex because 'cause I'm like, yeah, I feel like Lex is one of those people that we can all agree on is, like, super bad.
Yeah.
There's, like, some villains that you're like, "Okay, you're a villain because you disagree with me, but you're not like a supreme world killer, Thanos." So, my 50-50 split is Thanos gotta go. Because it's not that he's a world killer, he's a universe killer. Like, he's going big rock to big rock destroying people, and his little assistant friend, like, no. No. Thanos empowers people that shouldn't have power, and his little flunky, that's what I'm gonna call him. No. Thanos and all his people got to go. I feel like the only other Marvel supervillain you could do is Doctor Doom, but
Oh,
I still think your answer is the Marvel villain's the one that's got to go.
yeah.
I don't know if it's DC's heroes control their villains better, but Marvel's villains, they out of pocket. The
They
only
really,
way for them to be tamed is they gotta go.
yeah.
So my vote is Thanos or insert Marvel villain here.
I
Because,
honestly,
and let me double down on that. Doctor Strange, how did he get rid of his villain?
oh yeah, he just
Think about it. Think about it. The only
no,
way that I defeat you is you literally got to go.
no,
I have to put
no.
you far, far away. So yeah,
Yeah, you gotta go.
is your vote also Marvel? Thanos
Yeah,
slash Marvel.
because my whole thing is with Lex, it's just Lex just wanted to harness a power he did not need.
Batman. Go ahead.
Yeah, like there's nothing Lex can go to jail. Like that's it. You tried to harness a power you didn't need to try to command, and it came back to bite you in the ouchie. So yeah, Thanos, you gotta go, brother. I'm sorry. All the Marvel villains, I would snap them out of here. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
And the
yeah,
other parts of Marvel villains too, Marvel heroes can exist without always having to fight things.
yes,
Because Thor's thing is just, I'm here to protect
yes.
Asgard if something happens. Mainly, I'm here to keep Loki at bay.
Right.
Tony Stark's thing is, I never asked for any of this, actually. This suit
Mm.
was for me to have fun, but then you
I
started selling my weapons, and so now
right,
we have a problem.
right. I built a toy, is what he did. He was
But,
like,
I
yeah,
mean, but similarly for DC, look at Aquaman. You want me to do what now?
you know.
I was I was just going for a swim. I don't quite understand what you're saying to me. Flash. Sorry, I'm a kid. What am I supposed to do? Spider-Man? Hey, I just got bit, bro. I don't I was Aunt May's making mac and cheese tonight. I don't like I just feel like in the Marvel universe, you can kind of exist. It would kind of be like The Incredibles. You can kind of just blend in and do what you were doing before Calamity ensued.
Right.
In DC world, it's a little bit more, hey, pay attention to that, but Marvel, you kind of do have to assemble the Avengers because their villains are just anything. All of their villains come out of the sky. By the way, they're all coming from other places, and that's a problem. DC's
Wait,
people are just people
wait,
like they.
wait.
What? Whoa!
Huh? What did you that's gonna turn into a whole nother podcast because I
Did you?
what?
How are you not okay? All of
I'm
Marvel's
sorry, because
villains
you
come from every place but Earth.
have you not seen X-Men?
That's not no. No, no. That's
What?
there's a reason I said, you know what? Let's end the podcast. We have several upcoming superhero podcasts, so if you're
This was a
intrigued,
transition.
let us know in the comments. We're gonna probably make that a whole season of just superhero talk. We're not diehard fanatics or anything. We're probably thinking the exact same thing that you are.
Probably.
So just throw it in the comments somewhere. Yays, nays, questionable comments that we've made.
Also,
Um,
you're liking the time, because we made this one a little bit longer, I would just let it ride. If you're liking the time frame for this particular podcast, also let me know because we're kind of picking up on what you guys want to hear. Do you want to hear more from us? Do you prefer a shorter podcast? We're just gonna do different ones until we find out what you guys like.
Yeah. Also, similarly to the superheroes, we've got a long Disney one coming too.
Oh yeah, we do.
So, which which way do you want this to go with the long ones? Do you want part 1, part 2, part 3, or you want like an hour and a half of us rambling? Be sure to put your questions because we're the only people here. We don't have a producer. We don't have anyone watching our creative content. So you write it, we'll read it.
Right. Um, we are also preparing, and this is gonna be our wrap up session. I'm not gonna do a single record. Um, we are also getting ready to, after some extreme editing by me, open up our Discord so that people can join the Discord so we can see you guys' comments. So if you'd like to be part of the Discord, please reach out to either of our social medias. Our names, of course, are on the podcast. Also, to make any suggestions or maybe even sponsor us to fill this end of the podcast, you can always email me at librasgold@gmail.com. Anything to add over there?
Um, I don't know when this one's going to get published, but the one about colors that we're gonna have to redo, that
Mm.
one's gonna be a long one, and that one's gonna trigger you, and I can't wait. And I want you to be mad, and I want you to put it in the comments because that is the entire point of this podcast. I want to see how many people think like me and how many people think I'm crazy.
We definitely want to impose the question of who asked. But that's going to be it for today, guys. So we will see you soon.